Men.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, and I am the baldest man in Kampala. My baldness is closely sponsored by none other than Colin Asimwe. Now, tonight we are going to have a conversation, which is a bit of, I would say, a sober conversation. Why do I say that? Because when people get married, they have great intentions, great plans, and everything is all rosy, at least it should be. But then life happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, research shows that, unfortunately, it's usually men who literally get left on the curb more than women. Why do I say that? When it comes to a divorce, it's the man who has to split half his wealth most of the times. He's the one who everybody asks, what did he do? There's just so many things that are put on the man and put on the man. But as a man, how do you move on? Do you deal with it head on? Be like Chris, tough guy, who says, yeah, you just tell guys, tell them and you move on. Or do you become like Jaluo and sit there and, okay, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say.
So, what were you going to say? Because you're not going to say anything.
No, I said, sit there and become the village drunk. That was what I was going to say. So I shouldn't have said it. But anyway, guys, good to have you here. Dan, fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
First of all, I like the fact that you're a staunch NRM supporter. Anyway, seriously. Now, Dan, men go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is, most of the time, you hear women telling men, be a man, be a man. A lot of men deal with issues on their own. They don't go out there and speak to others. Just last week, we were having a conversation, and one of the things that came up is, as a man, do you tell your fellow man about something, or do you talk to others about it so you can all talk to him? Then before you know it, it looks like his business is out there, which becomes an issue. Because a lot of men would rather not be embarrassed. Colin called it
Disrespect.
yes, be disrespected because your
business is out there.
Yes, your business is out there. Now, from your experience, because you've got a very interesting experience, and I'd like us to just start with that. You've been through a divorce, or are you going through a divorce?
I was through a divorce.
You've gone through a divorce. And from what I understand, it was a bit challenging. Just take us through the short version.
Okay.
Yes, of your story.
It's business. Huh?
No, thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I would tell any man, or something that I would never want for anyone, is to go through a divorce. It looks rosy to people. Your guys can tell you, this is done, go to do another thing, you know. But people say men move on fast, but we don't move on fast because we move on fast. It's like a coping mechanism, I could say. Yeah. You're not healed properly, but we look for, men don't heal, but we distract ourselves.
Okay.
We look for distractions. Others, moving on so fast can be a distraction. You have another person, but you're not healed. Others, they will be like my friend.
Oh my God, I'm not the person. Wait, you see what you did?
Others will be...
I'm not divorced, by the way.
No, what I'm saying...
You would have to be married to be divorced.
And
now you're just cohabiting.
And he promised Chris.
My guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We entered this year with a promise.
Yes.
Every time Jaluo sees the pastor,
he has to go to
I don't know why
his life comes into sharp focus.
Jaluo promised to get married this year.
Guy.
Actually, the end of last year. Then this year came, he still promised. And we have a pastor here. That's the interesting thing. We are ready to contribute.
He who just got divorced.
No, marriage is a good thing. Even me, I will get married.
Tell us the background.
Huh?
How did you arrive at all this pain in your life?
Okay, let me just do it in a nutshell before we give solutions. So, I think for me as a person, I got married at a young age.
Okay.
Very young age.
How old were
To
you?
the extent, I was 26 years.
Okay.
That's young.
To the extent that everyone that was looking at me, some of them were like, "Karibabi, Oba Manjaraga." I remember one guy at my introduction told me, actually this was my dad's friend. They called me at a hotel where I was sleeping late in the night, and we went in the restaurant. Only the three of us. And my father kept on telling me, "Are you sure? Is this what you want to do?" But love, That's why I was telling one of my friends that love, as the Bible talks about it, when we take it the way the Bible takes it, these days it's a bit somehow weird. That if you say love is patient, love is kind, love is forgiveness, love is all these things, you miss a lot of red flags. That things that you see and you'd be like, maybe I could wait. Personally, I wasn't ready, but because you loved this girl and you really wanted, you had dreams. Because I didn't grow up in a proper family.
What do you mean by
So,
that?
like proper family of my mom, my dad,
your dad.
everyone was.
Okay.
So I grew up with my mom, and I told myself that for me, my kids, I have to get kids in when I'm wedded.
In a proper
You
situation.
get, and my kids are supposed to grow up in this kind of situation. But I think about 4 years into the marriage, and then that's when things started
The cracks.
really shaking. And then this is when my father gets sick so much, and then my attention changes, and then COVID comes in, he dies, and then my whole life changes. I get into a wrong financial decision, because my counselor told me two things break a marriage. There's money, and there's the bedroom, which comes with character and all these other kind of things. So when everything started changing, I remember a friend of mine brought a business deal, which looked sweet, because by that time I was into events. COVID has come, you've lost your dad, we are not working, 2020, and I was like, this is a good deal that maybe we can do something in it. So we used like a small capital we had, and then I borrowed quite a big chunk of money from friends, different people. And then when things went sour, the business failed, of course, and we lost the money. You go back, maybe to the person you had at home,
They want choco.
and you have that guilt thing of, I told you, this is not something that you're supposed to do, and all that. So things started changing, like literally changing. I lost myself, went into depression, went into total big stress. And then one day I just go back home and the house is empty.
Yo.
First, wait.
She up and left.
First, we're trying to understand the moment. You come, you get in, you put in the key. No, because
I come.
Because
Listen, I sensed it in the morning.
there was something that was
There was
off.
something that was off. Yeah. And then, but I was like, maybe because you have those fights.
Some tension
and
will resolve when I come back.
We'll talk about this when I come. So when I came back, as a friend of mine, and where I was staying, you could see the house. So when I got there,
As you approach, you can see the house.
and remember we had gotten like a mortgage. So it was not like someone can shift.
Yes.
You can't shift from your home. So I saw there are no curtains.
Which was the first sign.
Yes, because it was.
Now you can see inside the house.
So it's like,
But you
maybe
can
they've
see
removed
inside,
them, they're cleaning,
they're washing the
the
curtains.
curtains and all. Then like, let me go and reach. So I reached the Ascari. We were living like an estate. So it's one gate and then different homes. So the Ascari was calling me General. I don't know why he was calling me General. Like, General, your things have been taken. Then I'm asking him, how? Why? Who?
You didn't say Opolot, what happened?
No, Madam has told us that you're shifting, blah blah. So when I called, this person was angry, mad, and all those things, and she just told me the key is down there. So I entered the house.
Your wife? Do you have children at that time?
My name.
We had a son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was the son?
The son was 2 years, I think, by then. So I entered, and I would talk, the house would respond to me. Hey,
Wait. So
I was in denial.
So you're telling me it is you and the socket.
Me, the mattress,
They left for your mattress.
yes, my clothes, and a few small things. Yeah,
But
of
furniture,
course,
appliances, everything.
Everything gone.
furniture. I think there was a chair, one. So I first, one of the things that I first lived in denial for some time, like for the first few hours. First sat, and I'm like, maybe they are going to come. And then I'm like, then I started calling my friends. I remember I called one of my friends, and I told her,
Your friend
think-
is a she.
yeah, she would.
All right, interesting.
She was a friend, and like an old mature friend that used to pray for me, because they used to see, everyone would see that Daniel is really going through a really tough time at that time, and I had withdrawn from people. People were not seeing me at the time. The only people that were seeing me was police.
Because of your issues.
Because of my
Yeah.
debts. So those are the only
Because you have to
people.
report and say,
Yeah, you
I'm
have
on the
to
payment
report.
plan, we're doing
They
what?
find you, you're there, they find you. So I called a few friends, and this girl talked to me on phone, and she was like, this is the beginning of your growth. I called one of my pastors, and I told
Why is
him,
it that they always
my
say
pastor just told me, now you're growing. You've grown up.
and you have
Sit
lost
down.
everything.
Lost everything. Everything. No car, nothing. Lost everything. The car, that of course the loan go. So I was in the house alone for 3 weeks. No curtains.
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm fearing. I'm worried. I don't want to tell my mom. She has
Because-
serious pressure.
Yes.
Of course, she would feel so bad, but also, so things start checking in. Depression
Yes.
starts checking in.
Because you're all on your own.
You're all on your own.
But you also in your thoughts.
Anxiety. Have you ever woken up in the morning and you're like, they brought a big Benson and poured it on you?
Like the moment your phone rings, you can't, your
The
heart.
moment scared.
You fear your phone like this.
Yes.
The moment it rings, it's like your heart comes
Yes,
out.
you're right.
So anxiety started checking in. Would sleep. I sleep at 3 a.m., but by 5 I'm awake. And I don't know why I'm awake.
But
and I
you know
don't have
that-
sleep.
That's so bad because also it's destroying your health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then drinking checked in.
Of course.
You're not eating,
But you're drinking.
You're drinking. Do you know what it means? Like you wake up in the morning and you're seeing a Uganda orange coconut. By that time, coconut was very popular. And then you're taking it with maybe a chapati, maybe some bread. And then
You're
before
not eating any proper meals.
You're not eating.
Because
properly.
also you can't afford any proper meals.
You have some little money.
But you're
But the money you have is for survival.
It's for...
No, but Colin, that's where sometimes we go wrong. Just a few weeks ago in Fort Portal, there's somebody, a mad, distinguished gentleman, who told me something very interesting. And I never thought of it that way, where the issue of alcohol is concerned. He had an event which we were putting together, and he said, I'm inviting people, we're going to feed them, but I'm not buying alcohol for them. And I told him, but they're your guests. He said, yes. He comes from the school of thought that if you can't afford your own alcohol, then you shouldn't be drinking it.
That's true.
Now, if you can afford a bottle of UG a day, you should be able to afford a decent meal. If you buy, that's what I'm saying, ideally, with that money, you can.
No,
Yeah.
but remember what he's talking about, the
yes,
depression and what.
But then he's coming
he's talking
from-
about coping.
Yes,
He was just
coping.
and that's why I was saying, so it's not about money. It is about the situation.
Yeah, the
About the
situation.
It's
situation.
not
and
about
you know,
affordability.
you can have all the money, but the food, you cannot swallow that.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, guys, now we do need to get into a break. And now that we've got the foundation of this, I think it provides very fertile ground to have a discussion, especially when we look from the outside in. When a lot of us look at our lives, we look at a lot of people out there, we think everything is fine. Yet, as men, we are good at putting up walls. We put on masks and act strong. We act like everything is okay. Yet, ideally, inside, we are crashing. Now, we are here at Sangha Courts having an interesting discussion about moving on after divorce. We'll be right back after the break.
Men.
Welcome back from the break. We are here having a conversation about men and moving on, especially after a not so good breakup. We need you on our socials. Our hashtag is NTV MEN. We are also on X.
On X, we are on NTV MEN _UG.
All right, cool.
That's where you find us.
Yes.
And it's also on the screen now.
Yes. So, Dan, back to you. So you've brought us up to the point where you were alone in the house for 3 weeks, and it's like your world is crashing down on you.
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing is, so what happened? What made you just decide, because you're looking great, you're looking energized. How did you get here?
That's an interesting question. First of all, it's God, I can say, because it wasn't something that was easy to get out of, to be honest with you. And even the day I was served a paper.
Divorce paper?
Yes.
Yeah.
The day I was served.
Was there separation before the divorce, or you were just served a paper once?
After the separation, of course, we spent like a few months not seeing each other, not anything. And then the next time I'm seeing, there's a phone call. Hello, Daniel. I'm from advocates, blah, blah, blah. I have
papers,
some document to deliver to you. Then I see the paper and I'm like, is this what I
feared?
This is a sign.
Is this what I really, really, really worked hard for? And it's not something that I always wanted. And in most cases, okay, I'm sorry, but women don't know this. What we care much about when you're going through such a situation is the person that you have in between you two.
The children. Yeah.
Because as a person who didn't grow up with two parents, now I'm seeing my child going to go through the same.
Yeah.
You get? And then when you're growing, of course, there's an imbalance of communication between parents. Yeah? And in most cases, it affects the child because there is friction between the parents.
Yeah.
In most cases, the friction comes from, it's like a battle.
Of who wants to be the better
Who wants to be the best.
Yeah.
And then what we men fail at is you can't be in a battle with a gender that is not you. Emotions are different. Everything is different. So to me, what I did therapy, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Let's talk to someone.
A lot. And I remember my God just helped me because I was really sinking into addiction of alcohol and so many things. And God just helped me and gave me a therapist who was a born-again lady. She just opened the Bible and she told me, now, you're Daniel. I want us to read the whole book of Daniel. If we finish the book of Daniel and Daniel had lost, then you have lost. If we finish the whole book of Daniel and these lions didn't eat him, then you're in the lions, but they cannot eat you. So I started moving with that word in my spirit that these are lions. This is a situation. This situation are lions. So they cannot do anything. So long story short, I accepted and took accountability of my actions. I wasn't the perfect person. Some of the things, maybe I did them because I was young. I wasn't, I cannot even blame. That's why even I remember writing a long email to my ex-wife, and I just told her, I am good.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Just let him finish.
Let me finish. Because where people fail, is you keep this friction,
right?
and you forget the person in between. And to women, when you take full accountability, because it's not bad to take full accountability. You tell her, I was wrong. I did this. I didn't listen to you. I did this. I didn't. But maybe we were not meant to be together. And then we just rushed a blessing from God. So I have moved on as a person. But of course, you're just saying it at that time. But you've not yet. Sometimes you're there and then think about your son.
Memories.
Most importantly, think about your son. So one of the things that have made me keep moving was, of course, in that raffle, yeah, God blessed me with a daughter.
Same.
No,
first
after
wait.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
So that is the other thing that I was telling you about. That one of the things that we do as men,
Move on too quickly.
we move on.
Coping
too quickly.
mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism. Yeah. So
So just to understand it, so you met somebody else.
I met somebody else.
Yes.
No,
While
they
you
were
were
in the,
While he was managing
they were
the
in
pain.
the wings. They were
Yes.
waiting. So when he was
They weren't
injured,
waiting.
Colin, why
They weren't
why are
waiting,
you giving
Colin.
a remix to
When
the
he was
story?
going through this, God blessed him with another one.
Guys,
when the whole thing was happening,
you found a comforter.
I found someone.
Okay.
Yeah. This person, number one, she's a psychologist.
Oh,
Yeah.
the psychologist.
Not that. Not that.
Hey.
I was already
Because
done.
if you start eating the psychologist, you can cause. Do you know when you're in the wilderness and God sends you someone to help you and you start eating that
Eating the
person, God says, "Naya, I never know what is wrong with them."
So it's
yes, you're right.
I met someone. This is a way after even the therapy and everything.
So you're saying they are psychologists, first of all, and what else? Just
Yeah, she was a psychologist, and then at that time I really wanted to do something for my fellow guys who are like going through, because when I went through that, I realized that so many friends
Are going through.
who are married
Yeah.
would call me and tell me, man, I'm tired of this thing. I don't know. My wife is doing this and that. So this person that I met, the fact that she was a psychologist, I was like, this is going to be a good sign. Because one of the things that I looked at, for example, when I was doing therapy, was mental health is real. I've ever gone in depression and I felt like losing it. I've ever been in depression where you feel like you become suicidal and you start like envying someone who's dead. Because by that time, the only person I was envying was my father. And then I'm like, for him, he's there resting. He doesn't have,
He has no
you know,
problems.
and that's what the devil does to you.
Were you close to your father?
I was close to my father.
Yeah. Was he the one who raised you? Because you were raised in
One of the things that my mom did was they separated my father, but I don't know for what reason she made sure, because we are 4 children, but she made sure that I am close to. Because even where my father used to work, people used to call him Tata Dan. So everyone would be like, so I'm one person who was with my father even up to the deathbed. So he would sit down with me and tell me, of course, a lot of things. So when depression checks in a man kind of way, remember, for us, we keep things in a bottle. So much.
Yeah.
I cannot know what you're going through until we sit on a bottle and we're drinking, and then I come up with a certain kind of discussion. And then before you know it, when someone sits at you and looks at you so straight in your eyes, listening, then
You'll share.
they start sharing. You know you're speaking something that is touching them. Yeah. So one of the things I can tell you that literally actually made me comfortable. God tells us that, okay, not God, but it's my mom told me that when God ever gives you a daughter, it's a demonstration to a man. It's a demonstration of his love. Because the way you love that girl is like demonstration of love. Just like how women are with their sons.
boys,
Yeah. So when I got my daughter, my mind started changing. Like literally started changing. Right now she's 3 years, but my mind started changing. I started.
Are you still with the psychologist?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mind started changing to the extent that I started looking at life in a different way. Whereby I would be there and I'd be like, I got a steward, like my parents were stewarding me in this life. But then God has brought 2 people now that are in different worlds that I have to make sure I steward.
Yeah.
So we started a mental health organization. It's mental health awareness, basically. And we were mainly focusing on things to do with men.
Man, yeah.
And one of the things I remember, I'm sorry, I will say this testimony. I went to
It's okay.
Nairobi.
Yeah.
I go to Nairobi. A friend of mine calls me to go and he's into events. So he calls me to go, and he's launching a book for someone. So let me go and launch a book. I go and help him, like, organize. I was free that time because I talked to him. This guy is a pastor. So I go to Nairobi. We go to Nairobi Baptist. That's where the launch was. And we're launching a book for Robert Burale called Naked Truth.
Robert Burale.
Yeah. So this guy, I saw him speak in front. Peter, I was looking at the guy, and he looked straight in my eyes, and tears were coming out of my face because of what he was talking about and what is killing marriages. What is killing marriages, we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
We only talk about things like money, infidelity, things like cheating and all. And this guy talked about this thing. And he saw me, looked at me, and he's like, I think God gave me this one today. And he talked about the issue of masturbation. At that time, I was fighting. Now, this was when I was still in marriage. I was fighting that addiction. For so many years, fighting that addiction. Immediately after the book launch, I went to this guy, talked to him, and he gave me 2 hours of his time at his home in the compound. He talked to me, he told me, it's going to be a tough time for you. So it's like, even the divorce and everything coming, it's like I somehow knew
It was going to happen.
What was coming up.
Okay.
So, long story short, one of the things that are actually destroying our men, because one of the things that a man needs is their self-worth. Remove it from them, you don't have a man.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah, for sure.
So, this thing called masturbation, I preach it a lot nowadays in schools. We've been to so many schools, over 300 of them. And every time you're speaking about this thing, to be honest with you, out of 100 boys, you have like 9 of them that come to you. I want to end this, I want to end this, I want to end this. And you don't know. So it comes with a lot of things, a lot of anger, it comes with a lot of insecurities that come around. And then if you're a married man and you have a lot of insecurities around, you're going to, of course, suppress your wife. You get? When you suppress your wife, she's not going to be comfortable in the home. Because you have insecurities, you have anger issues, you have, you don't feel like you're a man.
Yeah.
Because every time you do this thing, it just removes that manhood from you. And then because you do it in the dark, for you come out and feel like people know what you did. That's why these days you cannot find a young man who can stand and speak straight to people. All of them are shy because of that one thing. So,
but it also affects, I guess, intimacy with your partner.
It affects intimacy. It affects intimacy not so much, not so much. Yeah, but the biggest part about it is too spiritual. To the extent, let me give you just one scenario before I close. God created man, because now all of us are men. God created man and woman, and a man we give life. No, women give life, we give a seed. Yeah?
Yeah.
And if we give a seed and you all the time you're masturbating, these seeds
I've been spent.
they're not dying, they stay around there. Those are seeds of poverty, all those things, spirits that stay around you. You get? That's why men that masturbate are very, they're very, how do you call it? When you talk about something that they do, they're very protective. But I don't know how I can say it.
Protective, defensive.
Defensive.
Yeah.
Defensive.
If you ever find a man that is defensive,
He's a masturbator.
no,
He's a strong masturbator.
because
Guys, I don't
right,
even
guys,
know how to say this on national TV.
That you ever find a man who's defensive is a
they're
master.
very.
So, Salu, are you a
You see
defensive
this on
man?
national TV.
Now, guys, we do need to get into a break. We're here at
Peter.
Sango Courts having a
Peter,
very, very sober
Peter,
conversation.
before we go to the break,
But
these are the guests you bring for us. We came back here, we said we wanted to end the nation.
But remember, we have conversations that ordinarily nobody wants to
No
have.
one wants to have.
But this is our reality, and we are facing it head on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Men.
Welcome back from the break. We are here at Sangha Chords having a conversation. And as I have always said, we have those conversations which a lot of people do not want to have. So to dive back into it. Now, Dan, yeah, this has been a lot. It's heavy. I thank you. I did not expect anything less. But now, let's talk about moving on, because, and I stand to be corrected, you have owned up to a lot in terms of the failure in your relationship.
Yeah.
Can we say that you
Did you
looked at
own up?
yourself?
Did you own up? I didn't hear you. You said you owned up.
Wrote a long email.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
And you signed the forms as well.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Even when I remember the last time I was in court.
So you tried resolving it at one point.
No, I tried.
By owning up,
Of course,
like-
they give you some time to do that. I tried to, because I really wanted my marriage. Yeah, but you know, when something is not yours,
It's not yours.
you reach a point as a man and you be like,
Do you believe that
yeah,
something is not yours? Like
God created.
like you got
everyone,
married to this person, but
but
she's
maybe
not yours.
because you didn't give it enough time.
I don't believe that in any shape.
But just wait, just one
he was
last thing.
saying
Just
when he was in court, I think there's a detail he wanted to say. The
So
last
when
time
I-
you were in court, what happened?
Yeah, when I was in court, that was the day. In, you know, that's when they give you the decree, absolute.
The return.
The real one. I reached a time where I feel like I want this person to be happy, and I want to be happy.
Okay.
But the only way she can be happy is to be away from me.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's when
It's also acceptance as well.
you accept and you take full accountability that I am the problem. That, you know, that's a very hard thing for any person, even ladies,
yeah,
for someone to sit and they say, I am the problem.
to own it. Yeah.
You own your issues. The other person also has their issues. You sit down and you own your issues.
Yeah.
So that you save yourself from the next relationship that God will bring.
So that question, did you want your woman, or did you want the marriage, or were you interested in being a father to your child? Because all those are three different things.
Yeah. It's a hard question, man.
I'll tell you.
You asking that did you want your woman
Yes, yes.
implies that
Yes, because you see,
should
I'll
not
give
do-
you a simple example. I can want my woman but not want to be married to her. And that's why there are people who have a woman on the side who satisfies a specific need, but they do not want to marry her.
But that's
it's a
not
fact.
where we are.
Yes, it's just I'm getting
You did
there.
not want- you're asking if
then
Me, I want
there was
to,
a point where you did not want to marry the
I
woman.
want to give you a personal example in this
Okay,
story.
yes, then we're coming to that. 1 second. Then you could want the marriage, as in, I don't care on what's going on around me. I just want to be a married man.
Okay.
I can say, like in my case, I just want to be known as Mr. Igaga. That's why we have people in relationships with trophy wives, where they go out in public, they have their wives, and they look good
Because
and
there's
everything.
respect and all
Yes,
those
that
other
comes
things.
with it.
Yes.
So you want the marriage. Then also you could want the child. So just as he said, I want my child to grow up in a home where there's a father and a mother. Okay. And that also happens a lot, especially in the city, where people have dinner together, everything. Then there are men who go to bed in the car. The kids are tucked in and they are up at 4 a.m. to sit in the house like they slept there. So those three things are very different. So just as you think about that, Colin, what is your real life example?
No, I was going to talk about you and why you about you and why you
You
don't
can't
like
speak
marriage.
about me.
Why, because you're talking about Dan, but you also don't like marriage.
Who said I don't like marriage? No, listen.
There's something that you mentioned. Something that you mentioned that is very interesting, and I feel
Okay,
like so
just-
many men.
Just before that,
Yeah, I know.
if you can
He's going to answer. There's so many men find themselves in these situations where you're in a relationship with this woman, but the intention is not marriage. The intention is
What?
that.
To chew and run.
To chew. But because you have been in relationship with this woman for the longest time,
And it's working.
society begs that you have to marry this woman, you married the woman. Was it the scenario with you? Because you imply that you wanted
man
the child.
told
But
you.
remember, he was
in love.
young. He was young and he was in
I
love.
think he's told his story. He says he was young.
Yes.
They were in love. He wanted to marry. The dad said, "Are you sure?" He says, "Look, I love
I'm
her."
done.
They go
I
on.
love this woman, yeah.
And I think for me, the summary in my mind is, and it's not to say that the lady was perfect, but he owned the mistakes he made, his part of the mistakes he made in the marriage, and it ended.
Yeah,
I think it's
so
fair
Chris,
to say.
now speaking to that, you are one of the people who has preached a lot about people getting married young.
Yeah.
And you've often said that if you want to basically enjoy the fruits, then make it official and do that.
Yeah.
Could getting married young be one of the reasons why? Because, for lack of a better term, we talked about
It
test
fails.
driving. It was a very heated discussion here. But because you've not test driven, you're getting into something that you have very little knowledge about, and then you end up hitting a wall just as Dan did.
So, as you know, I've written a book on marriage.
Yes.
Marry
Very
Well.
beautiful book, by the way.
He's read it.
Yeah, very beautiful
It's
book.
called Marry Well. And in there, I talk about
The four
an
angles.
experience I had. When I was 8 years old, I started praying about my marriage.
Wow.
And you'd wonder why an 8-year-old kid is praying about marriage. It was because I looked at my parents' marriage and something was off. Kids don't have a language, but they read
read.
patterns.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the pattern I read was something was off. They weren't fighting physically, but you could almost slice the environment with a knife. You know, 2.5 years later, my parents separated, bundled into a truck with my mom, took us, we left. And I never lived in the same house with my dad from that point. But then you see when my mom had no kind words for my dad, like absolutely, as you can imagine. Said, go tell your father this, whatever. But then sometimes she'd be happy. One of these, occasionally she'd be happy when she's talking about them. And it was specifically about a certain event.
Past experience, right?
Right?
No, like a moment. Like
A moment.
Yeah,
So every time she talked about their honeymoon, she'd brighten up. My dad died 3 years ago in 2023. But recently, when I took my mom the book and I was telling her about that, she's like, yeah, but the honeymoon was good. It was really, really good. They traveled from Kidep. They went to all the national parks. It was 2 weeks of really a great time. So what was confusing for me, I don't know about my siblings, but what was confusing for me is, do you hate each other? Do you like each other? How do you brighten up when you talk about this? But then when you're not talking about this, you're saying all these other things. I realized that love never fails. And he talked about it like, there's love, but the way it is. So love never fails, but unsupported love does. You know, in the Bible, it talks about now faith, hope, love, these three remain, but the greatest is love. So the thing is that my parents didn't get to hate each other. My mom, on the odd times she would meet my dad on the streets of Kampala, she would greet him, Mr. Mga, how are you, whatever, and they would move on. There was no fighting, there was no picking stones and what. So there was a weird cordiality, but it didn't work. So most of the time when you go to courts of law, what you hear in scenarios like this is this pregnant phrase, irreconcilable differences. But when you get into each story, the explanation of irreconcilable differences is not the same. It has
different branches
and stuff like that. And so, because as you can imagine, I've been really, because of my parents and me praying about marriage, I've been observing marriages, reading books and things for the last 40 years, right? And so one of the things I found is that, say for example, in the 60s, when you hear the music of the day, it tells you what people think about love and marriage, right? So in the 60s, 70s, those were the days they had romantic music. You don't need no money, honey, if I got you, music. So it was very romantic. So if you want really romantic music, you go to the 60s, regular 60s, 70s type of thing. But then that's not enough. Then you get into the communication era. I got a call last night, talk to me baby type of music. Then it gets into compatibility. His needs, her needs, books like that, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
It gets selfish.
Right? So it's, no. It was about, now really it has to be about compatibility. In Uganda we are fitting to Fitinga, to Machinga, music like that.
And Colin
right?
talked about
I'm surprised that you know these songs.
I'm a pastor. I'm supposed to know these things.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. But then here's what happens. You still, even when you've got that, it's still not enough. So the question is, what's going on? And so you find that in our time, pressure has compressed. The pressure is real.
Yeah.
People go through all manner of pressure. So you hear mental health, there's family overreach. There is pressure for provision, money for fees. I don't know what. There's all this stuff. There's trying to maintain work, and there's less and less work. With more and more people graduating and coming onto the marketplace. When we came back this season, the first show we had, we want to talk about what had happened, after COVID and God knows what else. And for example, Colin was sharing how he sat 2 years. He's brilliant. He's really good at what he does. But no, I think so. But
Like literally.
as a marketer, I think it's really good, right? The awards he won last year tell the story. But here's the thing. How can someone that good sit home and have to deal with all those things? That's pressure.
For 2 years.
Social media, right? Back in the day when we got married, you could do a wedding for 5-10 million shillings. Now, that's a joke.
That's not even a good child.
Yeah, you need like 200 million.
No. But Chris, can I please stop you there? And I'll tell you why. Could that actually be the problem? Because you don't need 200
Self-imposed,
million
right?
to
So what
have a
I'm
wedding.
saying,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is in this space that marriages are operating in with comparisons and things like that. So you're living in Uganda because of social media, you're comparing yourself with Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians and stuff like that. It's a joke.
Who's now dating Hamilton?
Yeah. Anyway, so the point I'm saying is that with that sort of space, then the question is, what are the things that support love to be able to deal with pressure?
Yeah.
Because the pressure
Is real.
is
Real.
So, Jaluo,
Rider with no protection.
yeah, rider with no protection. Now, you have
Commando.
hesitated, and I stand to be corrected, to get married, to make it official. Could the reason be because, and there are a lot of men like you who have...
Are we going to dissect my
No.
relationship?
We're talking, you are representing
Okay.
a certain demographic. Yes. Now, there are a lot of men who are in a relationship, but they've not reached that commitment stage. And that's why I was telling Chris, it shouldn't really be about having 200 million to have a wedding. I know you guys had a wedding thing.
We just at Worship Harvest, we just did a wedding festival where we just get people who want to get married and we help them along.
Yes.
And the budget in some cases per couple was about 800K.
Now, you see, so it's not really
It's
about...
not about money.
Yes.
It's not about money. And
So, just wait. So
I know
is
what you're going to ask me.
No, let me ask.
Okay.
So is it that you are unsure? So, and you're afraid of making mistakes because once you cross that line, it's meant to be forever.
Why are you asking me this? And I'll say this. Oh, God. Forgive me. But, I want to go back to what he said. He talks about getting into relationships early. And I actually believe that it's wrong. The reason why I think it's very wrong is because we do not have the anchors of marriage. And most of us get into this even just relationships, mere relationships. I'm talking about, long-lasting relationships with an individual at a young age. I don't believe in that. Because you do not have the anchors, the fortitude of marriage. I'm very sure if you research on this, a big percentage of individuals that get married, because look at the reasons that people give for getting married. I like her, she likes me,
I love her.
we drink together, blah, blah, blah. And 2 years in, 3 years in, it's done. When you look at it from that threshold, there is no way that relationship will survive. And most people in marriages, but they are divorced, like literally.
They are not in it.
you're divorced like spiritually and whatnot. You're in this relationship with this person, but you are there for the kids. I'll give you, oh Jesus, man.
That's right.
I almost gave my own personal space.
Go on.
Yeah, safe space. It's a safe space.
I almost gave my personal relationship. I'm not getting tricked into that, but yeah.
You don't have permission or you have not signed the
I
form?
live in this house. I live in this house. But he talks about in his book, Marry Well, he talks about the 4 anchors, and which are
Fortitude, foundation, friendship, and fulfillment.
and fulfillment. And this needs teaching. It needs a lot of education into this. Marrying young is a lie. Get married in your 40s, my guy.
You can marry young. But when you have the 4.
If you have them.
So
Yeah.
I think for me, I think it's really great to marry young, but we need the support structure. If you know what you're doing, any man can marry any woman and they're happily married. Some people married at 16, 18 and they're married.
And I would want to ask Chris, and you can answer this much later.
I'll tell you what, before you ask him that, we do need to end the show, but we're going to continue with this conversation next week. So we want to end it here for now, but ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be with you next week because this conversation is literally just getting started. We'll see you next week only on your favorite show, and that is Men. I had to do it. I'm sorry, guys.
My God.
We're out of time. Okay.